Hi, I'm Izzy from Gravity Wiz, and today I'm going to be showing you how to change your field IDs on Gravity Forms. So this is incredibly useful for when you need predictable field IDs for calculations, integrations, or merge tags. We also have an article that you can reference together with this video, which I've linked in the description below. Each field in Gravity Forms has its own ID. So, for example, 7 or 8, and these are automatically assigned in Gravity Forms. Sometimes you need the IDs to be consistent and predictable, simplify merge tags, and make coding easier. So, without controlled IDs, you might end up with forms that behave differently when moved to another site or when you add or remove fields. This is important if you're building like smart features or automations that rely on these field IDs. Let's say you run a library inventory request form for students to request books. So, as an admin, you may want to run like automatic calculations on certain fields, trigger emails when specific item quantities are requested, or use merge tags in a student portal. So, when your field IDs keep changing when you edit your form, like when you add or remove fields, then these can break automations that you've already put in place. So, this can cause missing items or wrong quantities. Controlling your field IDs means the process can stay reliable even when your form evolves. So, in order to do this, we are using a free Gravity Wiz snippet for changing field IDs. And these are the steps we need to take. Step 1 is to go to your form editor. Step 2 is to open your browser console. Step 3 is to paste a snippet in the console. Step 4 is to add the field ID numbers. And step 5 is to test it out. Let's go. So the first step is to open your form editor of the specific form where you want to change your field IDs. The field ID change only works inside the Gravity Forms editor of the specific form. And now let's move on to the next step. Step 2 is to open your browser console. So here are the links to your browser console in our resource article, which I've linked below. But let's go back to our form editor so I can show you how to open ours. Since I'm using a Mac, I am going to be pressing Command Option J. And this is our browser console. The browser console allows us to temporarily run JavaScript directly on the form editor page. And this is how we can safely change a field ID without editing the database records manually. Okay, so now that we've opened up the console, that's step 2. So now let's move on. Step 3 is to paste the snippet in the console. So when you add the snippet to the console, it changes the form permanently. And so whenever you're editing the form moving forward, it still retains that new field ID. So this makes it easier for you to change your field IDs by batch without touching the UI. Now let's go back to the blog post, click on View Code, and this will take you to this snippet. And we scroll down to get the snippet. And I will be clicking Copy. Now let's go back to our form editor in the browser console, and this is where we will be pasting it. This snippet defines the function that actually performs the ID change. So now let's paste it in the console. So adding this snippet to the browser console makes this function available, and this is where we will be changing our field IDs. Step 4 is to add the field ID numbers in our snippet. So we will add the field ID numbers so that Gravity Forms knows which field IDs to change and what new ID it should use. For example, we want to change the field ID number of the book title. Right now, the ID is 6, but let's say we always want it to be number 22. So we will be adding that field ID 6, and then 22 is the new number, and then just click enter. And see, now it says success. And now for step 5, which is to test it out. So we will be doing this by saving the form, and later I will show you that the field ID number has changed. As you can see, the minute we click save form and it's saved, the field ID is now 22. So let me just close the browser console. Ta-da, it's 22. And that's how you can change your Gravity Forms field IDs. Isn't that so easy? Your field IDs are now predictable and easier to reference, especially if you have any integrations or automations that rely on these field IDs. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more Gravity Forms tutorials and tips. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, adventures!